taking a quick break from toy hunting to bring you something very special, our very first figure unboxing video. And since it is our first video, we wanted it to be a doozy. So, today we're going to be unboxing the DamToys Resident Evil 2 Leon Kennedy 1/6 scale figure. And I am so excited to crack this open. But before we do, if you like this content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and comment to let us know what figures you want us to open next. Are you ready to do this? Let's go! So here is an overview of the packaging for Leon. Now the old adage says never judge a book by its cover, but I believe that's a bit different when it comes to figures. I've always thought that the detail on the package shows how much the company actually cares about the content inside. And if this box is of any indication, I believe we're about to see an amazing figure. The artwork on this is absolutely stunning. I like the consistency of the digital rendering as it wraps all the way around the box. Leon is front and center, and it gives off the ominous tone that Resident Evil is known for. It's so nice, I may just want to display this box on a shelf by itself. It definitely starts the figure off on a good note, but let's take a look inside and see if Leon really justifies that almost $300 price point. One nice touch is the box actually has a magnetic latch on the side. This makes sure the lid doesn't fly open and get damaged, which I like. When you open the lid, there's a nice display window of Leon, so if you decide to keep him in the box, that's okay. But for us, we're ready to open this guy up. Holy cow. Look at that. Don't worry, we'll get to you. Holy cow. Cool. Alright guys, here he is, Leon out of the box and on his personalized stand. He's already decked out with gear including knee pads, elbow pads, his iconic long sleeve gray shirt, and also RPD uniform. The body armor on this is stunning, and it even allows for the RPD logo on the front and the back, as well as the badge to be removed if wanted to. The pockets are also real, which I am always such a huge fan of. The head sculpt looks really stunning, and it has an okay range of motion. The paint application on the hair is fantastic, and it even has some flyability to it, because it wouldn't be Leon without a bit of his hair waving while shooting zombies. The figure itself is nicely weighted. The hands are on ball joints, which allows a nice range of motion for both hands, as well as the boots too. They are also on ball joints, so you don't have to worry about them falling off too easily. Overall, just really pleased with how this figure turned out. Now to look at the accessories. These are all the accessories that come in the top tray. Included are a first aid spray, but you only get one, so make sure to use it wisely. You get a frag grenade with a movable ring, which has become pretty standard nowadays. I like that it's bent on the other side, so you don't have to worry about it coming off. Next, you get a flashbang grenade. Actually legible words on this is such a nice touch, and it provides a good attention to detail and accuracy, especially on such a high-end set. G.I. Joe used to do random letters, which always made me laugh. You get your military issue M9 bayonet and scabbard, good paint applications on the knife, and it fits very loosely in the scabbard. There's a cloth pouch on the front, but that does not open. Nice piece. And then next up, you get your in-world upgraded combat knife. I love the shadow effect here on the blade. It gives it that hardened steel look that I know that they were trying to go for. The gold accents on the handle are really nice as well. I'll have to be careful when putting that in Leon's hand. Of course, you've got to have your mobile radio and hand mic. The coil here does allow for the accessory to stretch from the belt to the top of his body armor. DamToys gives you 2 replaceable left hands, no right though. The first is a hand for the flashlight, or if you're feeling cheeky, a thumbs up. The second is actually a support hand for when Leon is holding one of the 2 pistols he comes with, or maybe it could be used to place a hand on the hip. And they also give you a few extra ball joints to make the hands easy to swap out. Lastly, you get 4 door keys, and I think these are just fantastic. If you're unfamiliar with Resident Evil 2, you have to find these to open doors as you continue to make your way through the game. So I think the inclusion of these really does show how much DamToys cared about the accuracy of this product. These are spot-on representations, right down to the stained glass effects. I must admit, when I saw this set, my eyes went to the weapons first, but these very well may be the best accessories provided, simply due to the amount of detail. Now let's take a look at the accessories in the second tray. We split these up into 2 segments since there are so many pieces to go over. First up is the custom 870 shotgun, which is loosely based on a Remington 870, but this is another in-world modified weapon. Once again, really great paint scheme, and a neat feature here is the pumpable forearm that actually opens up the loading port. The moving forearm is usually pretty standard, but I don't think I've ever seen it work to this degree. That's a really nice touch, guys. The stock did detach when I attempted to put it in Leon's hands, so this gun is really fragile. Please be careful when putting it on the character. Either way, this classic look shotgun is a must-have for any zombie fighting figure. It even comes with a strap to sling over Leon when it's not in use, and I'm really glad that they included this in the set. They also provided the unmodified version of the 870. Crisp definition between the black and gunmetal shades. It also has the moving forearm and loading port feature, which I'm still just in awe about. And we'll show you both sides of the gun here. One detail of accuracy I really appreciate in these higher end sets is the hollowing out of the barrel. I think that's great. It gives it a subtle but much appreciated sense of realism, especially for a 1/6 figure. I always have really just liked the look of that, especially when you're doing toy photography. It just makes it look that much better when you're posing the figure in weapons. Next is the LE5 submachine gun. This is an awesome weapon to acquire in the game, but it's actually my least favorite among the weapons provided in this set. Let me explain why. The casting on this is good, there's no refuting that. The movable features include the extendable stock. The issue that I have with this gun results maybe from the attempt to make it too realistic. The scope is removable, as you can see here, but there's a problem just getting the scope to stay on. It moves really loosely on the track. It just doesn't want to stay on at all. And the clasps on the scope don't really help. Even worse, the clasps here feel so fragile, I'm afraid that I may break them off if I try and mess with them too much. The scope also has a little bit of weight to it, which means the scope really just falls off easily if you move it around too much. That is just not ideal. Another issue I have is actually with the extendable stock. I think it's great to allow for the stock to extend, but in this case, it's extremely loose. There's no resistance here, So if you wanted Leon to hold the weapon, you'll have to be okay with the stock randomly deciding to extend, even when you don't want it to. I'm not really impressed with that. I know it's been an improvement point with other manufacturers, but I was really hoping for better on this one. Now I know I'm probably being a little nitpicky with this weapon, and I do think that it's great that they decided to include it, but I think the critique is justified for such an expensive set. I feel like with any of these, I shouldn't have to do that much gluing or modifying to make them look great on the figure, and in this case, I really can't help but feel a little disappointed. But let's move on. The ammo clip on the LE5 is removable, although it is a touch difficult to do so at first. There we go. And hey, maybe this just becomes one of those weapons you display on a table in a diorama piece. That way, you can put the accessories on the gun and you don't have to worry about them falling off and breaking. As I said, I am really glad that they decided to include this gun in the set. I just wish that these features didn't hinder the ability to display it properly. Oh well, let's take a look at Leon's police belt next. Now, I really like this. They've already done some of the hard work in putting some of the standard equipment on the belt. The front of the belt is actually self-fastening, which I truly prefer to a belt loop that usually requires tweezers and an incredible amount of patience. It's pretty easy to attach together, but one thing to be wary about is accidentally taking off some of the adhesive when you go to open it back up. I do that here, and it's already lost some of its stickiness. It's pretty easy to reapply, but it is something that you should be careful about. The belt does have a holster for Leon's signature pistol, which we'll get to in a minute, and it also has a couple of pouches here on the other side that actually opened. They are a touch difficult to get back together, so unless you really want to use them for something, I just suggest leaving them alone. There aren't really any accessories that would fit in them anyways, so it is a nice feature though. The belt looks really good, and it has a spot for the radio and flashlight too. And here are the remaining accessories from the second tray. Let's go ahead and start with the monstrosity here in the back. DamToys had to give us something that could beat those big bosses, right? This rocket launcher is marvelous. Playable features are just an added bonus here. The incendiary shells do extend in the back, but not enough to pull them all the way out, and I'm perfectly fine with that. A movable sight here on the side, and really just a beautiful shade of green with a black wash to give it a realistic vibe. I absolutely love this thing. The launcher also does come with a strap, but it doesn't stay on as well as I'd like, so we'll just go ahead and deal with that later. The first pistol we get is the time-tested M1911. Very realistic detail, and it has a pretty easy-to-remove magazine, which has a bullet at the very top showing. The slide moves back on this as well, which when you move it back, you can see through the chamber to see the top bullet of the mag. The dark finish on this gun is just really nice, and it gives it that standard classic look, and I especially love the hollowing of the barrel, which just adds to the level of detail provided here. Now, no true Leon Kennedy figure would be complete without his signature pistol, Matilda. They provided the upgrades to the gun as well, which really has me in awe. The stock is easily attachable, and although I don't show it here, the muzzle brake is removable as well. Just be careful not to break off the peg when doing so. The slide does move back, just like the M1911, and you can see through the chamber here too. You can also remove the standard magazine, and you can replace it with an extended mag that is provided for those extra tough situations. Here we go. Now, if you look closely on the side of the handle, it actually says Matilda, and if we flip the pistol over, it also says Matilda on the slide. It's that attention to detail that really makes this probably my favorite weapon provided in the entire set, besides the fact that it is Leon's signature gun that he uses throughout the game. Just great job, DamToys. You're given a set of handcuffs here, which is pretty simple. They're pretty standard if you're going to have a police figure, and there's nothing really crazy to write home about here. Single pieces of molded plastic attached together by a small chain that doesn't feel like it's going to come off very easily, so that's nice. They also give you a carrying case that makes it really easy to put the handcuffs in, and then of course you can clip that onto the police belt that we looked at earlier. Not bad. Lastly, we get 3 boxes of ammo, which resemble the boxes of ammo you find throughout the game. I really went crazy over these in the stage photos, but now that I have them in hand, I'm just a bit conflicted. Don't get me wrong, I think the paint apps are very well done. Each bullet showing is painted, and there are really no major blemishes that I can see. However, the 2 small caliber ammo containers are solid pieces of plastic, and also the plastic is the full size of the box, so there's no way to close these two. They're just stuck open like this. And then there's the shotgun shell box. Nitpicky again, but I think it would have been cool to have a single shell or two. Dragon Models toys did it in the 90s after all. At least here, the shells are far enough down that you can at least close the box if you decided to. So, I don't know. I'm happy with how these are, and also not at the same time. I think they look good, but I also kind of wanted them to be better. I don't know. Maybe this is just a moment where expectations for me just didn't meet reality, and I probably was expecting too much, but I really thought it would be cool to have boxes of ammo, not just for Leon, but for other 1/6 scale figures as well, and I was just really excited to get these. The detailing on the box still really is nice. I just really wish these 2 boxes of ammo would close. I don't really want to keep them open all the time. But this does give me something of an idea. We're actually going to put down this G.I. Joe bench that we have, and they do look pretty nice when you put them on something of a table. I think that does have a nice look to it, and really honestly, the detail on these boxes would be wasted if you did close them up and put them, say, in a backpack or something like that, but I would have still really liked the option to have that. And that's everything Leon comes with in the box. If you will, give us a few minutes, and we're going to go ahead and put a lot of this stuff on him and take him outside and show him off fully decked out. Oops, we missed his flashlight that he comes with as well. And, of course, we should have remembered that since he even has a hand to hold it with. But the flashlight's pretty nice. There's a little paint blemish on mine here, but overall, really nice detail for a flashlight. Alright guys, here he is. Leon Kennedy all decked out. I put on his police belt and I filled it out. I gave him Matilda to hold as well as his flashlight. On the back, I put the custom shotgun as well as the SMG. And then of course I still used that bench that we used earlier to just display the remaining accessories that I didn't use. That way it just kind of gives it a nice presence of him choosing between things. And one thing I didn't mention as well is they actually provided a really nice backdrop with cardstock side pieces to keep the backdrop up, which I think is a really nice addition to the box. And overall, I'm really just astounded with how great I like this figure. Leon Kennedy is actually one of my favorite video game characters. Resident Evil 4 is still one of my favorite video games to this day. Actually, a funny story. My friend Corey and I were playing Resident Evil 4 when it first came out, and if you've played that, you get to the first village, and you have to actually go up to the second floor of a building to acquire the shotgun for the first time. And of course, if you play Resident Evil, you know that when they give you something that nice, there's also going to be a battle that you have to deal with immediately afterwards. So grabbing the shotgun usually activates a chainsaw guy that you have to fight, and it takes a while to kill him. Well, this time that we did that, we didn't hear the chainsaw behind us, and we didn't understand. There was no cutscene, nothing. And so we picked up the shotgun, and we did a quick turn to look behind us, and right behind us was the chainsaw guy, very silently, with the chainsaw up in the air, and he just sliced right through us. I can't tell you how loud I screamed, but it was loud. So this character has always been a favorite of mine. Scary part aside, I'm just so excited to be able to have a 1/6 scale figure of him. I think it's just an amazing piece. DamToys did such an amazing job, and I can't wait to see what else they release in this line. Hopefully it's something really exciting like a Wesker or a Hunk, or just, there's a lot of possibilities. So just really excited, really happy with how it turned out. It is, of course, since it's a higher end figure, it is a little fragile, so please be careful when you're putting it together. But overall, great thing. That's our video. Thanks so much for checking us out. And again, if you liked it, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and we are so excited to bring you more unboxing videos in the future. Until next time.